Good morning, people. So, today my lecture is on differentiated controls for different situations. As we learned earlier, that control is very important in an organization for it to work towards the achievement of its goals. So let's see how the situation differs and how the control according to the situation as well differs. The management control system in every organization is defined as processes by which organizational managers give surety that positions are acquired and used successfully and proficiently in the achievement of the organization's objectives. So every management has to ensure that the control system is in place and the the organization is working towards its goals. So aim of every organization is to plan, organize and appropriately control all the processes, plans and strategies in the organization. We know every organization makes a plan, makes a strategy, then places structure in place, places human resource in place. We have done that before. So it is their aim to control all the plans, processes, strategies so that the organization's objective has been achieved. Success factors in an organization depend on proper implementing of strategy, we know that, and cross-checking of results with desired results and overcoming any gaps between them. You have a strategy. Once you start working, you review your strategy, you review the control system, you review the management process, whether there is any gap that you think should be overcome between the strategy and between the processes, the structure that is being followed. Controlling, therefore, is the most important function in every organization. It is considered the process in which employees are supposed to do the tasks assigned to them through top management and avoid those things that are not profitable to organization. As I told you earlier, that individuals have self-interest, they want to achieve their self goals, so it should be aligned as such. The control system looks that the individuals are not only working towards their self goal, they are working towards the organization's goal. However, there are many factors that jointly influence the organization structure and the management control process in the company. So let's look what are these factors. These factors are the size, environment and technology. The size and structure of an organization influence the organization's strategies, and strategies influence the control system. It is different in small and big organizations. In a single industry, the top management may develop strategy as well as control systems, but it may be differently handled in diversified industry. So what happens in a small industry? For example, there is a sole proprietor. So in such kind of an environment, if the size is small, what happens? The top management, the CEO, builds the strategy, builds the structure, they take care of the control system, so it becomes centralized. And while if you see in big organizations, the CEO cannot do everything on his own, so they have different managers who make strategies, who make control systems of their particular department, and then they send it for approval to the CEOs and the top management. In single industry, as I said, the top management handles all, but in diversified industry, in a big industry where the chances are that you have one office in Philippines, you have one office in India, another in USA, the CEO cannot make the strategies for all the departments or all the places. So they usually handle the top management usually handles the finance department, because that is also very important. So they handle the finance department, and the managers of the specific department, they handle the structure, the strategy. So and also there are certain uh, as some would say, the control, in small organization, the control is in the hands of the CEO. But as it grows, they need more people. The planning, the strategic planning in small industries, in small organization, it's done by the CEO. In big, it's done by different people. In budgeting, if you see the budgeting, what happens in small industries, usually the CEO knows the people, the managers, and they can have an informal kind of budget, because the culture is very, the environment is very strong in single industry, but as it diversified, it weakens. And when in a small industry, the CEO is taking decisions, making budgets, so what they can do is they can have an informal budget, because they are aware with what kind of people they are working. But in big companies, a more elaborate budgeting is required, so it needs a formal structure. Then if you see the competitive advantages, many big businesses choose to diversify, and they want to develop unique products which would have a different strategy. Many small industries, many small companies would focus on low cost and one product type. They do not want to take they do not want to take risk. However, big companies can take such kind of risk, because they have to spend a lot on advertising campaign. So their strategy, their control would depend exactly on the type of product they are producing, on the size, on the environment, and on the technology as well. Performance measurement systems. This is the process of evaluating how well organizations are managed and the value they hold for customers, they deliver for customers and other stakeholders. Previously, when there was monopoly, rather when businesses, yes, they had monopoly, the only concern was that the customers really did not have choice. They did not they had to purchase what the companies, what the uh, organizations were manufacturing and organizations were giving them. But now things have changed. It's become so dynamic, the world is so competitive, that it's important to take all these stakeholders into consideration while producing a product, or while marketing it, while any during any course. The organizations have to take all these into control. The performance measurement system attempts to address the needs of different stakeholders of the organization by creating a blend of strategic measures. As I said, not only keeping costs low of the product matters now, it doesn't matter. You can keep the cost of the product low, but still you can go out of business. You can keep the cost of the product high and still be able to manage to have customers. So today, the companies which take all their stakeholders, I'm sorry, and by stakeholders I mean customer, the employees, the human resource, the and number of people, all these stakeholders, shareholders are stakeholders. By stakeholder I mean every person who may have a stake, even customers are stakeholders in an organization. So companies have to take all these into consideration, and how they can address this by creating a blend of strategic measures, which is outcome and driver measures, financial and non-financial measures, and internal external measures. Let's see what this is. Outcome measurement indicates the result of a strategy, while driver measures shows the progress of key areas in implementing a strategy. By outcome, we understand anything has been completed and now the outcome is measured. A driver measure shows the progress. Thus, outcome measures indicate only the final results, and driver measures can indicate changes that may affect the outcome. Outcome measures only show the outcome. There is nothing you can do once the outcome is in front of you. You cannot go back and check it. Rather, you can check it what has been done, but you cannot make changes to it. The driver measures, what it does, it indicates the changes, and any change, rather it indicates changes, and whatever changes can be made should be made so that they can affect the outcome positively. So driver measures is a continuous process, and effective changes can be shown in the outcome then. Financial and non-financial measures. Organizations tend to pay more attention to financial performance than non-financial performance, such as quality, customer satisfaction, etc. They should use both equally. So, financial performance. Every organization's goal is to earn profit, but is it enough today? If they don't pay attention to the non-financial performance, such as quality, customer satisfaction, the human resources, the organization's staff, employees, these are also non-financial performance measures that should be taken care of. An employee if an employee is not satisfied with the company, what would happen? Ultimately, their productivity would go down, and that may negatively affect the organization. The quality, customer satisfaction, keeping the price low of a product is important, but quality is of more importance. Yes, keeping the price low can work for a short time. It may work in long time as well, but if the quality is good, I'll give you an example of Deccan Airways. We know Deccan Airways came into being, and it was no frill airline, and people were so happy that they didn't have to pay a lot to get. They were ready. You're going on a 2 hour flight, you don't want food, so they were okay to pay low cost, but they and they liked Deccan Airways very. People were very happy that Deccan Airways, a no-frill airline, had come into existence in India. But after some time, the quality of Deccan Airways finally went too down. It really went down. There are stories that people were running on an aircraft to get, because they didn't just to cut the costs so that it can be forwarded, the cost cut can be forwarded to the customers, just to cut costs, just to keep the price low. They didn't have boarding passes. They didn't have seat numbers that are allotted to customers. Customers could just sit anywhere. This was to cut costs. This was to cut costs of the boarding passes and such those things. However, the quality really was not good, and finally they had to shut down. You may be. I'm not saying that keeping low cost would definitely give low quality, but it is very important. Customer satisfaction. We have been eating Maggie for past few decades, and Maggie is still 10 rupees a packet. However, the quality that probably I ate, and I remember that what I ate around 15 or 20 years ago is still the same that I eat now. They have managed to keep the price low, and they have managed to keep the quality same that was around 20 years ago, when it was probably more rather less than 10 rupees. So they managed, the Nestle company managed to keep both things in balance. It's important, people. Internal and external measures. Internal measures such as production and external measures such as customer satisfaction should both be treated equally important. As I said, you are producing, you have to keep the cost low, otherwise there may be chances that you do not earn profit. But customer satisfaction is also equally important when you produce a product. Maggie knew it, and so they are still very famous, and people would love to have Maggie back again in the market. I would love that. And this is what we call customer satisfaction. They have managed to keep the quality intact, notwithstanding the rumors that we are hearing these days. They have managed to keep the quality intact, and customer satisfaction, children are still loving it. Implementing a performance measurement system. So how do we implement a performance measurement system which measures the internal as well as the external measures? Define strategy. It is very important to define an explicit strategy. Your goals, your vision, your goals should be explicitly mentioned. Define measures of strategy. How and what measures are you developing to support the strategy? Integrate measures into the management system. The measures that you are developing, how do you integrate it? You have developed measures that you want to do this, you have a strategy, you develop measures, you develop system, you develop structure. How do you integrate it into the management system, as in the culture of an organization, the human resources? The most important bit is human resource in the employees in an organization. How do you integrate your measures, your strategies along with the management system? Because that is implementing that. Once that is done, I think it is the most important part, because everybody has their self goals, and how do you integrate it so that even if they are working towards their self goals, they are working towards the management, or rather the organization's goals. Review measures and results frequently. If you do it frequently, you know, as I told you about the driver measure, if you review it frequently, you know where the problem is, and you can change it there and then. After the outcome has been received, after the product for example, after the product has been made, you have spent lots of money on the marketing campaign. You've done everything you could for that particular product. You send it to the market and nobody's purchasing it. So then you have the outcome that the product is flop, and you now see the outcome. You come to know that this is the problem. However, you cannot change it now since the product has already been produced. So if you review it on a frequent basis, you may be able to change it. Any problem can be rectified, any problem can be solved, and thus it would have a great positive impact. Balanced scorecard. People previously, as I mentioned previously, the company's only idea was to earn profit. They had quality controls, but they really didn't take customer into consideration while making a product. They thought previously it was a sales concept. We will make the product and uh, customer would purchase it as we have produced. But now things have changed. Taking all the stakeholders into consideration is important. The balanced scorecard is a performance measurement system and a strategic planning and management system that is used to align business activities to the vision and strategy of the organization. You know where you want to be 10 years from now. You know what your strategy is. So the activities also need to be cohesive, integrated with the strategy of the organization. They both cannot work on different parts and then think of coming towards the same path. No, they have to go towards the same path. Improve internal and external communication and monitor organization performance against strategic goals. It provides a framework that not only provides performance measurements but helps planners identify what should be done and measured. It enables executives to truly execute their strategies. So, taking all things into consideration, the balanced scorecard, the performance measurement system, it takes everything into consideration and then measures the performance based on that. You get feedbacks from employees. So these are some of the measures. Let's see here. What is the advantage of balanced scorecard? Balanced resource allocation. The balanced scorecard, this is the performance measurement system. So what it does, it gives a balance how many people you need in which department. You can have 20 people in one department, but does that department need 20 people? It doesn't. So it gives a balanced resource allocation. Customer relationship management. Relationship with the customer is important because ultimately your products are being purchased by customers, and if you know what kind of product they need, certainly it may make an impact. Double loop feedback. Previously what used to happen was that quality control on production were giving more importance. So you are producing a product, you didn't, the organizations didn't want the defected products to reach their customer. They were rather very careful about their quality, so the defected products were simply thrown away. However, as times changed, as balanced scorecard comes into has been taken as performance measurement system, what it does it tries to identify what is the cause of those defected products. While previously the problem was not identified, making a product cost money. So while it was thrown away, the root cause of the problem was not identified. With balanced scorecard, it takes feedback from several departments, from employees, from several stakeholders, customers. With feedback, the company comes to know what might be the product, what might be the problem here, and they are able to rectify. By rectifying it, the defected product is not being produced at all. So how the company saves on the cost of that product, of that defective product, because it is not being produced at all. They come to know the root cause of the problem and they are able to rectify it. Early risk detection, they are able to catch what the problem is. The driver measures, through driver measures, they are able to understand the risk and probably may change the path, may change the strategy, drive future value. Balanced scorecard does think about the organization's goals as a whole, as the organization's strategy. It does not really work for the present, it sees the future as well. And doing this, the companies have been able to maintain quality, lower the product price. They have been able to take all the stakeholders into consideration. So people, this is about, I hope I have been able to make it clear to you. These are the control types in an organization. What happens in small organization, what happens in big organization, what is balanced scorecard. This is something which takes care. Previously it was only lowering the cost and maybe selling whatever has been produced by the organization, but now using balanced scorecard, companies understand what a customer may need, what an internal employee may need. They don't only focus on the product, the quality or the cost, they focus on every aspect of getting the product produced. So this is these days companies, big companies like Tesco are using balanced scorecard because they are more I wouldn't say sympathetic. They understand, they want to understand what a customer may need from them, what an employee may need from them. You really cannot work in these days without knowing really the needs of all these stakeholders. So that's it from me today. These are the questions here, people. Do it, and thank you for listening.